Hey. Okay. So last time we were talking, we were talking about marketing and how it's kind of a new world for me on the marketing front and the networking. I get marketing and networking. Those kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So they're difficult for me. I know there are people that think that's their bliss, and Lord, am I jealous of you. But but when we were talking about it, and I was saying that it was a little difficult because I know my platform, if you will, on the type of art that I like to make, that I do make, that the reasoning behind it. And I also realized that this is a new little venture, talking on YouTube. I've actually never explained what I do to you guys. So I'm going to tell you. So I own Fly Hippie Photography. And what that is a fine art portrait studio where you get fine art portraits, and they're tangible fine art portraits. I'm going to print them. I'm not going to give you a bunch of files. I'm going to print them. So when people ask me, how much is it? I don't know. Depends on what you're going to buy. You know, it can be from this to this. It just depends. It's probably also why my pet peeve is when I see on social media people asking for a reasonable photographer, because I don't know unreasonable photographers at all. And just because you want cheap doesn't mean it's reasonable, to be perfectly honest, not to be ugly about it. But I'm very reasonable. It's just that you're not going to get 100 files. I'm very reasonable for what it costs me to live and to run a business. I'm very reasonable for the years of education and learning that I put into this craft. I am very reasonable. And I don't think that's what people mean on social media. But for a fine art portrait, potentially a painted portrait, a mixed media painted portrait, it's very reasonable. And that's why people come to me. Right now, I'm doing as is portraits. I want you to bring me your kid straight away after soccer practice, football practice, a day of school or something, just when they're just kind of frazzly. And I want to make a fine art black and white portrait of them. It's one of my favorite things. Also, especially with kids, I am a huge believer that printed portraits help confidence. Huge believer in it. I believe that when kids are little and mom and dad are just putting stuff on Facebook to show their friends, the kids never see their likeness. Those memories go to people that you hope you get a like from. They're not being cemented into your child's brain. They can't go through the photo albums if you don't print them. They don't see themselves on your desk, on the wall, wherever you put a printed portrait. And so they're not seeing it. People that you don't ever see on social media are seeing it. Then your kids grow up and maybe then they're on social media. And in this day and age, kids are acutely aware of stopping the scroll and getting likes. And kids are mean. I mean, my God, think how mean people are our age on social media. Now imagine being an immature teenager and the mean and the scrolling and that's a level that I can't even imagine navigating, because I didn't have to when I was a teenager. You actually can stop the freaking scroll for your kid if you just put their portrait up. We see you. You're here. You are part of this home because you're on the wall. You're part of the home. We love you. We don't put people we don't like on the wall. If you're on the wall, you belong here. And I saw that hugely with my foster kids, because we have had the same set of foster kids a few times. And the last time they saw their pictures on the wall, of course they were on the wall, and they felt like they were home. I have a picture of them here. It's still on the wall if they were to show up today. And it matters. It matters that grandma has your picture. It might have been when you were 6 years old and now you're 8 years old. That means go get it done again. But it doesn't mean you're going to get rid. I still have baby pictures of my kids, of my grandkids, of I have a family portrait that my youngest grandson wasn't born yet, and he actually stopped in front of that portrait one day and was like, "Hey, Means, aren't I supposed to be in that?" You notice it. Kids notice it. And he was right. And he is in the house. He is on the walls also. He's just not in that one picture. It does matter. It does matter to your psyche when you see your likeness on the wall. And I'm going to say the same thing about adults exist in photographs. I understand that you may not want to put your headshot on the wall. I get that. You know what? I don't want to put a headshot of me on the wall either. But I would do a fine art portrait of me on the wall, something that just celebrated me in a fine art way. And it might be something that you don't even realize is me until you look closer and like, that's a cool freaking picture. That's amazing. You know what? Cool. If you have a spouse or a significant other, put the picture up on the wall. If you have children, get in the picture with the kids when you take them in for their first birthday shoot. Get a picture of yourself with them. Do that because you know what? They want to see what you look like when they were one. You might think, oh God, like, you know, my skin is broken out and I need to lose 20 pounds. I have this 1-year-old baby and I've gained all this weight and, you know, dad might need a haircut and whatever the excuses are, and they are plentiful. Nobody gives a crap once you fast forward 10 to 20 years. Nobody. You can maybe look back at that picture and be like, ooh, look at that. I'm so glad I lost that 20 pounds. Cool, but you've documented when you didn't. Don't just not do it, because then when you lose the 20 pounds, you don't even have anything to go, wow, I look damn good now. Or if you are too skinny and you think you need to gain 20 pounds, do that. Because here's the thing, you might look at it and go, holy shit, I don't look as bad as I tell myself that I do. I actually look pretty stinking good. That part. Because you know what, I promise you, you don't look as bad as you think you do. You don't. I know you were sitting there thinking, but I hate having my picture taken. I hate. Why? Why? This is the journey of your life. This is, you know what? No 1-year-old is concerned that the diaper makes their butt look big. They don't care. They're going to, you know what, get into the cake, or they're going to have something formal or whatever it is that you want for that 1-year-old. And we're going to have a blast and be done. And when they come in at 2, we're going to have a blast and be done. At 3, we're going to have a blast and be done. When they have school pictures, they want to wear their favorite shirt. They want to wear, you know, comb their hair all weird, whatever it is. If you've had kids, they do that. Then you know what? You just kind of take this gap where you stop taking their pictures when they turn like 10 and 11, and you just kind of forget that. Well, that sucks because now they're getting their identity bigger than ever. That's when you bring them in. You know what? Do an as-is portrait. They don't have to be all fancy and put on a stinking Easter dress or something when they're 11. Nah, man. Come in straight after soccer practice. Like, I just worked my butt off. It was a play date. It was soccer practice. It was baseball. It was, I don't care, whatever. It was ice skating. It was whatever it is that your kid's into. Come in right after that. You know what? It was dance class. Come in with those toe shoes that are ready to be retired because you danced in them 4 times, as you do, and toe shoes before you need new ones. Bring the old toe shoes and let me photograph what it's like today. Today. It's everything. It's absolutely everything to celebrate who you are. And you know what? If you're an adult, I'm going to say to do the same thing. I believe in photographing yourself I believe in showing, because you know what? Have you ever had like a friend or someone that passes away and they have like a picture from when they're 20 and they were 70 because they just didn't have any pictures. Nobody knew where to find them. Nobody knew their Facebook password to get to the tagged pictures or something. Or it was selfies with other people and that's not the picture they wanted at their funeral. Like, not to be morbid, but have updated photographs of yourself. Have, you know what? I have grandkids and I want them to be able to, when they are 40 years old, be like, this is what my grandma looked like back then. Because they don't care that I've gained weight. They don't care. They really don't. They don't care that I used to be skinny and I've gained weight. They just, especially 40 years from now when they're showing their kids, and I may or may not be here. Think of your pictures of your grandparents where you're like, holy cow, you're looking at how they're dressed and how their hair was. You're not going to be like, ooh, grandma could have lost a few. That would be weird. Grandma should have waited till she was 10 pounds lighter before they took this picture. No, that would be weird. So don't do it to yourself. Don't think of your photographs as being for today. Your photographs are forever and for posterity. It's forever. You may not have it on your wall forever. You might replace it with a newer picture, but keep that older one, because at this point you're showing the journey of your life. You're showing the 10 pounds, the 20 pounds off and on. You're showing the hair short and long. You're showing the beard on and off. You're showing a full head of hair and then a shaved head. You're showing, this is how we dressed back then. You're showing all of these snapshots of what you looked like throughout your life. And it doesn't always have to be styled and dressy. It can be, this is what we look like. It is something I hugely believe in, because I do believe it feeds confidence. I do believe it puts you in for like forever. You know what? If something should happen to you, there's a recent picture of you. If it's your mom that gets that picture, if it's your best friend, if it's your spouse, if it's your children, if it's your grandchildren, if it's your great grandchildren, if you are lucky enough that you're alive with great grandchildren, freaking photograph it. You know what? I will also say this. If you have somebody in your life that is much, much older, get a photo session of them. But at the same time, and I've done this before and I love this too, as much as I love as is portraits, I love this one too, where you get an album. But what we did before was we photographed somebody just like on the couch, right? And I photographed her and it was beautiful, but we asked questions. We just kind of did an interview and we just put what the answers to her questions were. You know, favorite things in life, coolest invention, all different things. Get their answers, because the world changes quickly. It changes quickly. And I will tell you, we asked my granddad what the greatest invention in his lifetime was, because he was in his 90s. What was the greatest invention? I also, after that, was photographing a woman on her 100th birthday, and we asked her, what's been the greatest invention in the past 100 years? What has it been? And I promise you their answers would be vastly different than what ours would be. And I'll tell you what their answers were. My grandfather said the rubber tire. He was a farmer. So a rubber tire meant not having to do metal tires that are paddles that dig through the farm. A rubber tire made all the difference. So that was his life-changing invention. But the woman that we asked, she said the refrigerator. The refrigerator was the most poignant invention in her lifetime. What? Vastly different answers, but they served what they were doing in their life. So what would your person say? What would the answer be for the person in your life that is older, that has lived 100 years or almost 100 years? What would it be? By the same token, that 20-year-old answer, what would it be? For us, you know what? For us, what would it be? Because I guarantee you, we might all say the freaking internet. But it wasn't the best invention because, man, there's some yin and yang to that crap, right? Like, how many of us would go back to before all that? But it is also cool. You know what? You take somebody a little younger or whatever, they might say AI is, again, you know, it ain't like a rubber tire or refrigerator. It is technology that has a very negative side to it also, right? Which is also an interesting thing to dissect. Like, why are we doing that now? But it is like, get those pictures. You know what? Get the voice recorded. Get the answers to questions, even if it's in a photo album where you have it all together. And then, you know what? Get one of those for all of the great grandchildren or grandchildren or whatever. And it freezes time. That's your biggest enemy, right? Your newborn baby is only a newborn for about 10 days. And then they're a baby. And then 3 months later, you have an entirely different baby than what you gave birth to. 2 months later, it's an entirely different baby. At 6 months, my God, they're starting to do things. At 8 months, they're doing things. They are sitting up. They're starting to do things. At a year old, they're starting to walk. At 2 years old, they're starting to talk. At 3 years old, they think they're teenagers and they're starting to attitude. At 4 years old, they're fighting back. And my God, 5 years, they're going to school. It's like that. And then think about how quickly for you it went from when you started kindergarten to when you graduated high school. Bam! And you've been an adult ever since. Oh my God. Freaking photograph it. Because you know what? As adults, we're changing just as quickly. We are changing just as quickly. It's just that we get so fired up paying bills and cleaning the house and scooping the cat box and picking up the dog poop and making sure the kids have what they need and whatever it is that we're doing, we forget to take the photographs that are showing the journey of our life. Our parents did it for maybe when we were like 1 and 2 and 3. Like, we can dig through that box and find the photographs. Where's the box of photographs for you and your kids? Where is that? That part. When you're like, I don't have any room on my walls. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Move the big thing that you got at Home Goods and put your family up there. Nobody ever says they don't have enough room for a big TV. Nobody ever says, get me an iPhone, but I want one at a reasonable price. Bruh, get your family up there. They're more important than whatever screen is just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Do it. I'm passionate about that, and I never spoke on it here because I was explaining what I was going through and so many other things. But I will tell you, this is, now that I'm starting to get back and I can do these things, this is why I think it matters. I want to give you confidence, your kids confidence. I want you to live forever. I want you to freeze time. I want you to have an accurate representation of yourself should something happen and you need a portrait up. And that can be any age. That can be any age. I have done a photo session for a 1-year-old baby, and it was her last photo session. It can be any age. None of us want it to be the age we are right now. None of us. We all want to live healthy and spry and energetically over 100 years. It's my goal too. However, I also want to show all of those things. So if I haven't photographed you recently, get in here, do the as-is portrait. Do it. It's cheaper. I'm running a whole thing right now. You can do a whole photo session also. Do the as-is portrait. We can add on to it. You don't have to just get the one portrait. You can get more. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can do whatever you want. I'm workable. But make sure you get the photos. And if you haven't photographed your kids, get the ding dang photos of your kids. For real. It is a huge thing that I'm a believer in, and I wish I could show you all of the photographs all over my house, because I like being surrounded by people that I love. I will do self-portraits because I want my grandkids to remember what I look like, and I want them to be able to show their kids what I look like. Whether I'm here or not, I'm not going to look like this when they have kids, because they better not be having kids anytime soon. They are young. But we're not going to look the same. Get the photographs. It is, oh my God. So if you're watching this, if you're in the Dallas area, my studio is just north of Dallas. So you can go to flyhippiephotography.com and you can find out all the things. If you want to know about the as is portraits, my phone overheated and quit. Okay, so I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off. So if it gaps or overlaps or whatever, and yeah, it's in a different place now because I don't want it overheating. Anyhow, get the photos, flyhippiephotography.com. If you want to know more about the as is portraits, go to Studio Happenings. It's actually under that page. It's Studio Happenings, and when you click on Studio Happenings, it tells you what's happening here. If I'm having, you know, some special thing that we're doing, if I am having a workshop, whatever I'm doing. So if you are in the Dallas area, because I'm just north of Dallas, reach out to me. Flyhippiephotography.com is me, and it's hippie with an IE, not a Y. Fly hippie, because I'm fly and hippie. Photography. So, all right. So now I'm going to figure out, because I don't ever edit these. So now I'm going to figure out how to put two videos together. So I know there's going to be some weird seam that happened there because I'm not an editor. Well, unless you're a photograph, and this ain't that. So, all right, I'm going to shut up now. But I think you understand completely where I land on photos. If you don't follow me, I'm on Instagram also, so you can see a lot of the photographs there, which if you're kind of like, as is in black and white, and what is that? Or the mixed media painted ones. I think I have some of those up also, maybe not. Those are a little harder to take pictures of because I oil paint over a printed photograph. So you just kind of have to see me doing it. It's a little harder to photograph and let you see the difference. In person, there's a huge difference. So there's a lot of art that happens. So on Instagram, it's Fly Hippie Photos. On my website is Fly Hippie Photography. I think that's about it. If you have questions, just comment. Just comment. I'll answer, unless you're mean, but we don't do mean here. And I haven't had anybody be mean yet. Everything's been thank you for your kindness. So with that, I'm just gonna let you go. Thank you guys.